Hi you guys, welcome back. So excuse how I look, like I am a hot mess today. That's because it is a Sunday and I just decided I am going to be doing a lot today plant wise, and I was like, oh, I should film it. Like I usually don't remember to film it, but today I was like, I should film it. And I honest to God, like I didn't get ready. It's a Sunday, I don't want to, and my hair is just doing its own thing and I don't care and I'm bumming it. So yeah, but I thought you guys would want to see what I have going on today because there's a lot, and we just got back from our Florida trip, and so there's a lot of, also you guys can see like it's a sunny day today and there's just like rainbows all over, so I can't help the lighting situation in here. But yeah, we just got back from our Florida trip, and this plant room is a mess. And I got a lot of plants outgrowing their spots, so we're gonna just do some rearranging today. There's a lot of other stuff I gotta do, but we'll see like if I do separate videos or not, just because you guys know how it is. Videos get to be so long for me unintentionally, so yeah. Let me show you guys what we have to do. Okay, so we're in the plant room. I got a lot of moss poles recently, and I actually have, these are 3 feet, I think, 4 feet. I got 6 foot ones, and they're not right here right now. I actually need to move those out of the way before I start stuff so I don't just like step on them. But yeah, again, beautiful sunny day. I finally got the moss poles, so we're gonna rearrange and we're gonna take those plants off that are just clearly outgrowing that spot and maybe see if we can swap them with some from over here. Basically what had happened to while we were gone in Florida, that hook fell, which was hanging that plant, and it fell on all those plants. You guys can see I have leaves that are just kind of like crushed down there. So we're gonna clean that up and check things out, rearrange, see if anything needs to be sprayed down. And then this cutie it outgrew its spot in the bedroom. So you guys can see how big it is. Clearly it needs a different pole as well. But yeah, we're gonna find out a spot for this and just clean this up. I also am going to be able to rearrange and get those small plants out of there into here so that we have some more space because I got new plants. So we're gonna have to rearrange. Also, I wanted to show you guys, this is just so crazy. My Hoya is just insanely taking over this Hoya. You guys see how they're just like growing into one another? It's always so crazy to me. Eventually, whenever I need to undo it, I think I'll probably just cut those because you guys can see how bushy this is, but it's always just so crazy. It's literally like just one big Hoya. You guys saw, so the hook that's up there right now for that one plant that fell, that's actually a new hook. Dino just put that up for me, but we have to wait, I think, an hour until we can actually put something on it. So we're just gonna, I'm not gonna put anything on there right now, and then I'm just having it sit on the chair. But yeah, literally, where do I start? Also, I just love the natural light coming in. Like, my Imidrium is literally probably just loving life right there. Just literally loving it. I think we should start with this. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to chop this one just because of how big the space is between the nodes, but it definitely can't live up there anymore. So let's put it out of the way. All right, this one's a little tricky. Yeah, I don't want this to snap. I don't want this to like snap. But you guys, this one is so long overdue. Oh my God. Like, even my Syngonium mojito, like, that's probably gonna have to come down. Okay. The new leaves on this plant, though, you guys, are beautiful. Look at how beautiful that is. If you don't have one, like, get one. So underrated, and this one is so affordable for a Syngonium. Like, so affordable. I think I saw one for like 60 bucks for like a decent size one. So those three are #1 priority right now for getting a decent sized moss pole, just because they are probably my tallest plants. Well, I don't know. My Syngonium elbow is like growing like crazy, so that one also might be in the mix. And then I do have my 2 monster elbows that outgrew their current poles, so those also might be priority. But once I start swapping out poles and things, it's gonna free up medium-sized poles for the other plants. So I'll probably start with these ones that clearly are like the tallest. But luckily too, I have been doing propagating, and some of my props I did intentionally so that when I put things on poles, I can fill in the pot with the propagations, make it just like a more bushy plant. So I will be doing that as well, I think. I just gotta find and see where I place like half of these propagations and things. All right, I got a stool right here. This is literally on top of the red stowide cabinets, you can see. I got a stool because some of these that I'm not gonna move, I just wanna take a little look at. This one needs to be put on its stick. But essentially the Syngonium macrophyllum from Steve's Leaves, for some reason, the main top growth point died, and I do not know why. And that's very weird for the top growth to be dying versus bottom growth. So I'm just taking a little look. Like, do you guys see this? Move some stuff out of the way. It's this stem here that died, and it feels mush. So I wonder if it just got overwatered. But the problem is, like, this Syngonium hates to dry out. Literally hates it. It will kill off all the leaves if it's drying out. So before I left for my trip, I gave it a really good watering. So I think maybe it just got a little overwatered. But what I think I'm gonna do is cut it a little bit below where that rot starts, because I don't want it to spread. So I need to go find my shears. All right, I got my shears. I also picked up some little twisty ties. I always save these from like bread containers, bread bags, or like any bags that has these twisty ties. I save them because they're just so nice to, like, when you have a really skinny support stick, they're really nice to just like tie up some plants. Although my cat loves to play with them. Okay, that one's out of my face. Let's cut that one, which means I'm probably gonna have to undo this like Velcro. Yeah, like this is literally just dead, and I don't know why, and it's the top. But this feels gross, like mush, so it's definitely rot. It's yeah, you see that? It just falls. It's weird that it's the top. That's the suspicious side of things. First I'm just gonna like cut it off. Bloop. And then I'm gonna have to take off that Velcro and just Velcro it down there. Oh, I didn't even undo it. I just pulled it and like the whole part just came off. But I can see that there's rot and it's trying to get to this next point. So we are going to cut like there. Yeah, I don't know why that happened, you guys. I could maybe try and prop this, but I have so many of that plant or the chia pensée. I don't remember which one. They look so similar, but I have so many of them propping already that I'm just not going to bother. And honestly, the rest of the plant looks really good. So let's hope that that is all that was needed and get the newest points all kind of put on the pole here for support. This one is really pretty when it's bushy and it's all up straight, you know? So yeah, okay, well, I think while I'm still up here, you guys might, let's see if you can see. You can barely see, but while I'm still up here, this is my Amidrium Spider-Man. Amidriums are really known for doing this, for putting out runners. They are a pain in the ass. I will say, like, I have been super good, especially on this plant, by pinning up the runners. So they shouldn't be putting out runners, they should be putting out leaves. But Amidriums are just like notorious for the runners. So they can be tricky sometimes. So I bet, you know, right now my current Amidrium is on a coco coir pole. I bet if I had a moss pole that it would actually adhere the roots to, it would potentially stop doing this because it would actually feel supported. But yeah, so I just snipped these runners because I literally hate them. And like, look at that, it's insane. This Amidrium though has 2 stems, so there's 2 growth points, so it will be okay, I think. Whoa. See, this is, sorry, my mind is like all over the place while I talk, but this is why I have a ladder, is so I can go in from the top, because there's a lot going on here that I could knock over, and I just like to be careful. My philodendron glad hands is putting out a new leaf. This cutie is probably gonna have to move. I think I'm gonna put this one, it's a philodendron lime fiddle. I'll probably put it where one of these other ones were. And then you know what? I really don't like my philodendron golden dragon. I think I'm just gonna take her out today. I'm done. Super done. This is the golden dragon. I'm taking her out. I don't like her anymore. I've been feeling this way for a while. Let's see. Like, I have had this one for, I mean, this was one of my first, I think, uncommon plants. And so I had to have had this since 2020 maybe. But I've tried to like it. It just every single time it grows weird or funny, or the leaves do this kind of crap, or it like went like this, or the leaves just will not size up. I've even had this on a taller pole for some reason, and it could just be literally this plant. It will not size up for me, and it's been super frustrating. So it has new growth coming in, which makes me feel really bad. But like, do you guys see this? Look at that leaf. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I wanted. No, I'm gonna put her somewhere else, and I'll probably see if one of my friends or family, like my sister and my mom, want her before I just like throw it out and just get rid of it, because I'm so sick of it. But we will see. But we don't want, she's taking up like very good real estate, and so I'm over it. No more. I'm gonna put my lime fiddle, I think, in that area. I should really give this a stick or a pole, but yeah, I think I may chop it, honestly. Maybe once this new leaf unfurls, I think I'm gonna chop it just because, again, I want it more bushy like it is at the bottom. So yeah, but I think right now I will give it a stick, not a pole, just because it's going to get chopped anyways. So I think I might just honestly right now steal a stick from one of those really tall plants. But I think I'm gonna put it in that spot. All right, let's take a stick. Okay, I stole this stick from my Sangonia Mojito, because that one for sure is going on a moss pole. And I'm gonna place it in here. Let's do probably that. Some people might have thoughts about me just like putting it in there. I know it can be risky with the roots, but I do it when it's just the stick, and I usually am able to like tell where roots are and just kind of like gently put it in there. But I don't know. I mean, especially for like a stick, I'm not gonna like repot the whole thing. For the moss poles, some of them have stakes, some of them don't. So they're like the PCP pipe like looking ends. So we'll see. Some of them may need to be repotted to put that in, some will not. We will handle that when it comes to that. So let's do 2. Let's do that, and then we'll do another thing. Because the new growth is still bendable, whereas the older stems kind of get woody and you can't quite move them as easy. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna kind of like maneuver this one in there. We'll see how it does. Normally the synapsis is right here, but it's a very like wide plant, so we'll see. We'll see. I might have to like move it right there and move other plants around. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm gonna move you. So this is where it was, but I just noticed, you guys, look how long my pothos is. That's crazy. And it's in the very back corner of this room. I think in this corner here, I might move either, well, this one likes a lot of light. I think I might put this one there and move my, God, why can't I talk? My micans right there, and maybe do another trailing plant. Because I don't know if I have any other like small bushy ones to put there, but let's do that. Oh, so much stuff everywhere. I wonder if I can get some of those floor plants up onto here. So that one's just gonna go there. And then this gets direct sunlight, so this one will probably use a chop too, because it is just so leggy. I have a lot of like one strand trailing plants, and that's because, especially as I was growing my collection, a lot of things that were affordable to me were starters, or it was like I got the plant but it was like a vine. So I'm kind of seeing how that plays out now, and I think I'm gonna need to do a good pruning of things, especially as the sun's coming out more, to have things kind of like branch out, bush out. This is insane. I don't honestly know if I'm ready to deal with that yet, my Standoliana aurea, but it's loving that spot, so that's good. What do you want to do? All right, so now we've got my philodendron bobsea. I don't know if you guys remember from my tour, this was in a corner between my wicker shelf when I had that in here and the detail cabinet, but I had it like pinned up to the wicker shelf as a like trellis to climb that, and it loved it and it was working really well, but it got plagued really bad with spider mites, so it was in quarantine and having to be cleaned for a long time before I brought it back because it was like really bad. But I think it's been chilling. It's pretty good. Honestly, I am gonna be doing a mass cleaning of all my plants probably like in the next week or so, just because I should. It's been a while. I just gotta order more stuff to do it. But anyways, so here she is. Had a massive chop from that situation. And like I was just saying how I want my plants to bush out and I need to chop them, this one now put out 2 growth points at the same time. So we have this like younger little baby one with more juvenile leaves, and then we've got this one, which was like the main top growth offshoot. So yeah, so I'm excited. Now I bushed out. So I stole the moss pole or cocoa coir pole from my philodendron golden dragon that I don't like, and I'm going to pin it up and put it in that spot, I think. Okay, I like half-ass got her pinned up. Lots going on here. So I'm thinking, I wonder if I should just like pop it in like that. But she's like really wide, but she's not tall. So I think maybe if I give it a riser, it might be better. That one doesn't need a riser. So I think I'm gonna steal this. Just to kind of like bring it up, you know? Like you can't really tell because this camera's so far away, but just to kind of like elevate it a little bit. It was kind of getting lost. Since my one pothos over there is doing really well, I think I'm gonna move this pothos. This was out in the dining room on the table, but it's just not doing hot. Like when I first had it, and this all grew from being in a cabinet, but then I don't know. I have it in a cute pot. I want it to do better. So I think I want to move it. But she's a low light plant. So I think, I think I might just put her there. Get her out of my way. Okay, what should we do next? So on the ground here, I've got my philodendron ningaratense. She doesn't quite need support yet. Like I've definitely given her a chop, and she's very like, she'll stand up straight on her own. I'm thinking since this is just like a smaller climbing plant, I'm going to put this in some space here. Maybe like there, or maybe have it come out this way. Yeah, just to get more stuff off the ground. There's a lot that is accumulated on the ground here and it's driving me insane. So I think, I also have my Caprea. This, oh my God, the fungus gnats on this thing. That's insane. This was in my detolf, and it clearly, you guys can see how insane it's growing. It outgrew it, and with the shelving that was in there, like look, literally look at it. Like, look at this leaf right here. What is going on? It's totally flipped upside down. So yeah, this one's growing like crazy and funky. And it did just put out this leaf, which means it is happy and okay outside of that cabinet. But it flowered, which is really annoying because we don't like alocasia flowers. But I think I'm gonna put it like literally right here. I'm gonna grab my garbage though, and I'm gonna take out the sticky trap so it doesn't like tug on any of the other leaves. Okay, so now just to give you a little visual, it is still pretty crazy. We took this one off of its riser and we used it back there to lift up my Bobsey. We took this lime fiddle from over there and put the micans there. And then the Cuprea and the Nangaratense, those were both on the floor here. So we kind of cleared a little space. More things will probably end up in that spot, but yeah. And then I moved over this Trubii, this Pothos. These guys I'm probably gonna switch around because look how leggy my Syndapsis is. It is literally bare, and then it's just great from there on down, but that one might be a prop project. I don't know, haven't decided yet. I haven't even gotten to these yet. You can see my golden dragon that I don't like. I took it off its pole, it's sitting there. That'll go out in the living room. I'm probably going to gather a bunch of plants that I would like to just give away. Then these guys, these were the ones that were on the cabinet. You can see my Mojito Syngonium is just like leaning there. Those will go on nice tall moss poles, and I'll probably put them over here somewhere once I start rearranging. And the Bobsey was right there, so we cleared up some space, and that Shiveriana is so small it's not going to stay there. So we have some shifting that I can do over here, which will be really nice. We also have a really massive Anthurium radicans luxurians. You guys can see it is just so big. It does not need to be taking up that space in the cabinet. So I'm gonna pull that out, and it's probably gonna be one of, you know, in front of the cabinet floor plants. And I think I'm gonna put my Alocasia quilted dreams in there instead, and some other plants. All right, so let's move my Midrium out of the way. It loves this spot, so I'm just gonna let it stay there, but we're gonna move some stuff here now. Holy cow. The fact that this was just taking up the entire bottom half of my Redsta wide cabinet blows my mind. Like, what was I thinking? It is flowering like a million times in here. I don't even think you'll be able to see, but oh, it's heavy as hell. Like, it is, I cannot believe it took up so much space. I can have so much more room for things in here. And honestly too, I have a lot of Hoyas, not a lot, there's two Hoyas that are on hoop trellises in here that I could probably just put in my Millsbo wide cabinet over there, because those have a lot of baby plants in them. I can move those into crevices and little areas of other cabinets. So I think I might just put some like hoop Hoyas in there. It made no sense to have this massive plant in there, so. Like, let me show you. Like, you guys, look, it literally took up the whole second half of the cabinet. And you guys can see, like, look at how much of a tangle mess that is. That's because they're just, you see the roots, they're just growing like crazy. But I also kind of like love that. Like, I don't hate that over there, but everything is just, I could definitely have some more space up there for like multiple plants versus two big ones. My brandy was just getting suffocated by that big anthurium. Like, look, you can see how many flowers? This thing is insane. So we freed up so much space there, and now I can move stuff around, and this alocasia can get a little bigger, have a little more space. Uh-oh. I did not notice that, and I don't know why that's happening. That's weird, and it's on 2 leaves that aren't necessarily the first leaf. So we're gonna have to look at that. Shoot. Side note, I'm so hungry right now. You guys have no idea. Okay, so what should I do first? I think this cutie wants to go back in a cabinet. It honestly, ever since I took it out of the detolf, it hasn't been doing amazing. It might look like it is, but it's not. So I'm gonna trim up these leaves and put it in the cabinet. I need water. Also just got some yellowing leaves on some in here, so I'm just gonna clean these up. And I'm going to look at what is going on with this dandelion. There's no bugs. Literally no bugs. I think it's a watering issue. Yeah, this one pulled right off. So yeah. And the leaves look semi-translucent, so I think it was a watering issue. Better that than like pests, but yeah. But still, I kind of expected that a little bit with our Florida trip because some things didn't really need water, but I was having my windows open 24/7 for light. Some of them, my cabinets, I left the grow lights on for like 2 days. So like, I just wanted to make sure they got enough water for how much light they were going to get while I was gone. So even if something didn't really need water before I left, I just I topped it off with some water anyways, just to be safe. So I did expect a little bit of overwatering signs, which is like the yellowing leaves, but it's always good to double check and make sure it's not bugs or anything either, which in cabinets does really suck. They take over like the whole cabinet. Okay. Oh my gosh. Sorry for the weird angle, but so we're gonna put this one in here. Honestly, you guys, I don't know if this has happened to you guys, but it happens to me, and I feel like my philodendron brandy literally just does not grow. Like, I have chopped this thing, I have propped from it multiple times. The thing literally does not grow. And I've had it like, you know, climbing on sticks, I've had it climbing on the wall. It's just a slow grower for me. Like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna move it right here. It's very like sturdy, so I think I'm just gonna put it there. This one will stay here. Alocasias always end up outgrowing their cabinets for me, which is fine. It's just kind of like get them out of the way right now. But they always end up being like bushy and whatnot, but I just want to have some space, get that one off the floor, and then yeah. Let's see how this one's doing. This one seems to be doing pretty good. But yeah, I could have like 2 other small plants on that one shelf. And actually, since I took out like bigger plants, I might be able to move one of my magnetic shelves here to have more space for small plants. And then on the other Redsta, I can put more of my taller climbing plants. I think that's what I'm going to do. Also now, I have so much more like floor space right here, so I can put more small plants here, which I'm really excited about. So I've been putting in some of like the baby plants in here. I don't even need to show you. I'm just throwing them in there. Some of them are from when I did a Facebook purge. A lot of the leftovers that did not sell, I cross-posted, and I had people that I was like, okay, I'm gonna save these and then I'm gonna give them to them. So they're like little props, or the ones that I chose to now not sell and use to fill in my plants. Bunch of different reasons, but yeah, it's like a perfect size to just fill into these little spots to just fill out the bottom of this cabinet. I'm going to move my hoyas that are on trellises. It's just a little bit of a task because their saucers have water from when I watered before my trip. Some of these that I literally could not move, I would just fill in the water into the saucer and let it like soak up what it wants when it needs it. This next one's gonna be a pain. I literally just got cut by glass. That is so bad. Where did that come from? Oh, you guys see my little blood spot? Fuck. Well, that was not fun. Don't know why. There was glass. I don't remember anything breaking in here that was glass. So yeah, that was not fun. Okay, moving on. Next one is not as easy because this plant has been, oh, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, I'll give you guys a better view, but essentially the two vining plants, the philodendrons, which would be the Camplosportum, and then the Monstera stanleyana, they have grown so crazy that their roots, multiple times, they've tried to dig their roots into this plant, which is also why I would like to get it out of the way, but we did it. But the roots were like grown into this pot from those other plants, and I'll show you guys. So you guys can see I just have like the baby plants down there, moved things around. This is where my macrophylla pot of gold was. From these plants, these roots kept trying to grow into my Hoya Chelsea, which is why I moved them. But you guys can see I had to rip this root out because these things just are rooting literally all over the place. I don't know, maybe I should cut them or something. I have propped those plants so many freaking times. They literally grow like weeds. It's insane. But yeah, definitely jungle vibes. I still can't believe I got cut by glass. That's bizarre. I have no clue what that could have been from. But anywho, I grabbed the magnetic shelf from the other red stick cabinet and then put it in here. And then I just started grabbing babies. I'm gonna put these micans on this new one because it's not gonna get as much light, so they'll love it. Just to like, you know, another good way to get them out of the way. I had a few really good healthy looking micans, and since my 7-foot long micans isn't doing amazing and it's very bald at the top, when I repot that, which has to be soon, I'm gonna take these 3 little pots, fill it in, and then I might even consider taking that really full trailing one and fill it in so that I have like one big beautiful plant of the micans again, because those are easy to prop. So I can always take more props, but that way it fills in my beautiful plant. So yeah, so I'm just like now, I grabbed a bunch of plants that I'm putting in here. They won't look amazing because I don't have them in like pretty cover pots by any means, but that's okay. It's just so that they essentially get the light, because, you know, they're going to be repotted. So at some point, they'll be repotted. I should honestly move that shelf that the roots were growing on, because I should just move the shelf away from those plants. That way it can't happen as easily. Oh my gosh, okay. Oh my God, you guys. The roots were literally just like trying to take over the shelf. Like literally that's a root on the magnet. I did not want to have to like clean this and everything. Crap. All right, well, I'm not dealing with that right now. Let's see, how can I need to like contain this plant. Sorry, I'm so close and awkward, but you guys see how insane that is? We're just gonna like hold it back with the hook. This is why I love these hooks. They're just like, I can just put them anywhere. I do have another hook, so I'm going to pin that one down, and then I'm gonna move the shelves away from that hot mess, because like I said, those roots will grow into the pot. Love magnetic hydrometers. Come on. Let's do like right there. Won't look amazing, but that way things get space. Oh, that was close. Okay, I don't know. Do I put it there or there? I could do it lower. I wish that the Redstas didn't have this like thing here for the shelf, but obviously I get it. I wonder if I should do this over here, that up, and then that scattered, or if I move that one down and that one there. Dang it. Then I can get two that way. Put that one there. Let's put that one there, and then this one can go like right there, I think. They're not like perfect by any means, but I think that'll be good. He's gonna move up that way. See guys how it's like scattered and somewhat away from that mess? Let's see, and thinking I'll do like obviously these aren't permanent, because as they grow they're gonna need more space, but for now, this little baby Milano, no one wanted her, but that's okay. Do that. I could have sworn I had another one. I think I want this one to get good light, because I love the variegation on that one. Do have a little splendid as well, but I think I'll just do this. Well, this technically should probably go up somewhere. No, Oh my God, I can never make up my mind. I'll do it like right there. No. Nope, because this one's gonna get tall. Oh, okay. Down there. Okay. I think for the most part, this cabinet might be done. I'll show you. All right, for time being, I think this is what I'm gonna do. Eventually, I think I'll put some more like little plants in here as I clean out my municipal wide, but I just want to fill in some small baby plants and give a couple alocasias some space. I did not deal with that. That is gonna be for another day. I'm not doing that right now when I have more to do. And then I just kind of rearranged those shelves because I took off 2 hoop trellis hoyas, which allowed space for literally 4 more plants, and I got another shelf in there. So that's a way better use of space, and I'm so happy I rearranged. And essentially, there's the hoyas, and I cleared that whole spot of the cabinet. So I'll be putting some hoyas in there. All right, next up in this whole reorganization is getting this cabinet out and getting some of those hoyas in here that are on hoop trellises, because I know I also have some in my Millspo tall cabinet in the living room that are just ready to have space. So this might just be literally like a Hoya cabinet, but we'll see. The fan is not on. Why is the fan not on? Okay. So I have a couple here that I found pots. They're small, which is just perfect for time being, because these are like probably gonna need a repot at some point. But yeah, I don't know. I think I might only have these sideways and on the sides. So I think I'm gonna do that, but these are not sturdy, so I need to put these in a pot so that they will not tip over. And I do have another one, I think. Okay, the orange with this, I don't know. I think I'm gonna do this cutie. Like, that would be pretty. Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay. So, and then that means that we have extra little saucers for other propagations, and so yeah, let's clear some stuff. If you guys can see, this is from my Synopsis Silver Hero. It is just like putting out a runner. I need to get that clipped up to its trellis. Kind of get this put on here. All right. Cannot wait to plant some of these into my mother plants. See what I mean? Philodendron camposportum, sportiatum, growing like a weed. Some of these, I don't know where they're gonna go. Probably in one of the red stick cabinets, I would have to guess. I mean, at least until they're with their new homes, you know, but. All right. Hold the door open. Okay. This cabinet's fairly clean because I cleaned it not too long ago compared to some of my other cabinets. So I'm thinking we'll do that. And let's do this cutie. One's a little less sturdy, so I think I'll put it on the ground. TBD. I think this splendid will want to go with the other splendid. Okay, so I grabbed all my other hoop trellis Hoyas. I don't know if they're honestly all gonna fit in here, but we will try. So this is a Hoya Dekie, I think it's called, but you guys can see how beautiful this is. I got it with maybe just more so like these bottom leaves on it, and it has just gotten the deepest green leaves. So beautiful. I showed you guys a lot of this one in the update, but any of the Hoyas that were in my Mails with Tall in the living room outgrew that cabinet. So we are going to put them in here. Just because like I feel like they have way more potential. You know what I mean? I really wish I had another riser. I might, I don't know where it is. I'm gonna have to like really dig for it, but that way I could have more here, you know? But for now, we have my black margin. I think I'm gonna put her just like right there. I know it could look way better, but it's because there's this cutie. This is my macrophylla. Like, I love that there's some neon going on that one. So I'm thinking, let's put this one like over here. I'm gonna have to contain some of those. And this is just for right now. Like, again, once I get another riser, it'll be better because then the hoop Hoya, the Chelsea here, can be raised up as well. And then I will probably put some like smaller Hoyas there if I have any. I'm sure, I know I do. I have some smaller Hoyas in my Detolf cabinet, but those are ones that I really want to get the bright light to sun stress for a while. So yeah, but then there's this one. You guys probably don't remember this one. Honestly, I don't even remember the name. Shit. It's like Incrusata Moon or something like that. You would never know because there's barely any variegation. There is some on like a couple leaves there. It's because for a while this was right in front of the south facing window and it bleached this entire thing. And then I had it underneath the grow frames on top of this cabinet and it got no light really. So, I mean, it got enough to where it's like, you know, putting out a lot of tendrils and things, but it's just not to its full potential. But it's a very bushy one. So I would like this one to have space. So I think since the Parasitica has smaller leaves, I'll put that like there. And then this one I'll put here for now. This is not standing upright because it's so heavy. That's fine. So yeah, it looks really crazy right now, but it's gonna just have to do. Again, I'm just clearing space in some other cabinets and trying to get everything to fit and put away. And these ones, like with a hoop trellis, like they need space. So yeah, I think it's actually gonna be really good. I hope. They're gonna get so crazy and out of hand. I'm gonna have to cut them a lot, but I'm super excited. All right, so here's a preview of the craziness. So once I figure out, I think I have another riser of some sort that I can put in the middle. That will raise up the Hoya Chelsea that's back there. And then, yeah, I have the macrophylla. I put the Parasitica black margin here. I think it's also a splash, but I put that there just because it's got some smaller leaves and there's like craziness going on. So that'll kind of somewhat fill the space. I've got my Hoya Dekie, however you say that, right there, which I think is gonna like having way more space. And then my favorite, the pot of gold macrophylla in the back. I want it to get lots of sunlight, not sunlight, but grow light, you know. And so that one is on top because it's one of my favorites. And then the Incrusata Moon Elbow something. I really don't remember the name. But this one is just, I think it can have way more potential. So I want that one to get some light and just be happier. So yeah, this is the Millsbo Wide, and this is the one that's underneath the grow frames. Much better. These things have way more space. Also, how cute that like this Hoya, my Publicalyx, is just like right there too. Just goes with it. Obviously my heart leaf going crazy. You guys, we have not even gotten to putting those tall plants on moss poles yet. And it's almost 5 p.m. I've been doing this now for hours. And I still have to water everything in here. So I think I'm just gonna put those little plants away. I might just stop the video here because I don't know, this is so long. You guys, I just ran out there and I almost forgot about this cutie. This one outgrew my Millsbo cabinet in the living room too. I need to put this one in there as well. Which one is it though? Hoya glabra. I'm just literally, it'll barely fit, but I'm just gonna put it like in there so it's in there. All right, you guys, I'm leaving this video at that. It's already a super long video because I went through those couple cabinets and this cabinet and the top of those. Also, don't you just love the rainbows coming in? Ugh, literally obsessed. But yeah, I'm not even close to being done, but this will literally be like a 10-hour video if I don't stop now. I have yet to still put those really tall plants on moss poles just because there's a chance I'm gonna have to repot with that. So that might have to just be a separate video unless it's like a crazy task. I may not even like film it. I might just tackle it and get it done, but I didn't get to that yet. And then I also haven't even gotten to like the plants by my balcony door, or like finding a spot for that big El Choco Red. I haven't dealt with essentially any floor plants. It's fine because like I don't really walk over in that area anyways. That just it might have to be another day. Or if I film later tonight, now that I have a light, then I will do like a part 2 today, but we'll see. It's 5 o'clock. I'm exhausted. I haven't even watered. I've not even watered. And I'm just gonna end it here. You can tell I'm just like so over it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I am trying to just film as I think of all these things that I need to do. Just film while I'm doing chores because I feel like if you guys have chores to do as well, it is nice. I know I personally like to have plant videos on and stuff like while I'm doing my own plant chores. So I'm trying to just even like consciously think, hey, I should just like film while I'm doing this or whatever. And today I was like, I have a lot to do. I'm reorganizing, so I figured why not film and you guys can like watch too. So I don't know, if you guys like more content like this, let me know. Just like kind of me doing some chores and whatnot, then I will definitely film more like this in the future. I am trying to work on keeping videos shorter, but as you can see, I am not doing a good job at that. But if you also prefer longer videos, then like, great. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for being patient with me. Thank you if you guys have watched all the way through. You guys are troopers. And thank you for being patient while I'm, while I was not filming a ton or posting a ton on YouTube. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you guys just want to hang out. I mean, I've got a lot to do all the time. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.